As long as you're comfortable saying that, you don't need the preemptive poop.
Nope.
Nope. All right.
All right.
This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And I'm Jordan Zacek.
We have a third wheel. So this is Jordan. This is the Jordan. The Jordan. The Jordan.
I've been mentioned a few times on here.
Once or
He's
twice.
been on.
Yeah.
He has, yes. In one of the first few.
Yeah.
And to mention, JP's worried about pooping during the episode. That's why I recorded that part. I don't know if you knew I had it on yet.
I'm pretty sure you did. That can all be edited out.
No. We don't edit. This is raw and uncut. All right. So, social media shout-outs. Door_disc_golf. Night_owl_pod. Both on Instagram. And doordisc.com. We actually still have a few envelopes left. I don't know how many. Have you seen the envelopes yet?
No.
No. So we have a few left to throw in boxes if you order online. Facebook, Instagram, Linktree, any of those sources, our website, we'll throw a bill in there. So
Someone mentioned to me, they're like, I just ordered a Sky God for $50. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know if that meant he got the $50 or if he was like, I don't know.
yeah, because they're only $24.99 on our site.
That's what he said to me. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, good luck.
Yeah.
I was like,
Did you mean he paid more on a different site and then was like realized he could have got it for less?
I
from us?
don't know. What
Possibly.
Maybe.
Because we can still order them from
Let me just take a look real quick.
Discmania. Like,
Yeah, I
can order
wonder
them.
if he just realized
Donnie
he paid too much for it from somebody else.
Yeah.
I
Go to
hope not.
doordisc.com. Come on.
Yeah, hopefully you got the $50. That'd be awesome.
That would
Tell
be
them to
awesome.
post it up. I haven't looked at the bills yet. I haven't held them up to the light yet to see if there's any left because we put them all in envelopes. So weird. All right.
Ordered a Sky God, and then he had fingers crossed for $50.
Oh, he's hoping for the $50.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Come on, JP. Because you don't know your emoticon language?
Social media sites. I'm just kidding. Just follow us.
Exactly. All right. How do you feel about icons in anything you do? Not like icons of a sport, icons of an industry, icons of...
It's like arrows pointing me in that direction. That kind of icon. Oh, yeah. Follow this.
Wait, so what kind of icons
Yeah,
are you
okay,
actually
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about?
Doesn't matter how you feel about icons. Just pick an icon, roll with it, tell me what you think of it.
For some reason, I'm trying to think of symbols.
No.
I should go simpler
Yeah, simple. Like,
and be like Elon Musk,
right.
an icon of electric cars
Money.
and space travel.
Yeah.
Right.
The guy that earned like $20 million selling roofing torches as flamethrowers.
Yeah. Oh, that was cool. I missed out on it too. I didn't get one.
$500 each. Like, oh, awesome. All right. What about you? Icon.
I don't know. I have a lot of icons. I just think of sports like Jordan, Joe Montana, Macbeth.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's where it be kind of goes.
Okay.
All right.
What role does an icon play in any given aspect or field?
Someone that, if you're talking about the person type of icon, someone that kind of sets a standard for everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Or just makes something more presentable or more in your like vision. Like you can see it.
Or like pushes the envelope.
Yeah. Kind
Yep.
of, well, yeah, it can or can't, but like it just stands for something.
Sure. So you mentioned Macbeth. What do you think the equipment equivalent of an icon is in disc golf?
Destroyer.
I was going to say the disc catcher.
Ooh.
Disc golf. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What about the rock?
Like the
In of a rock.
Dwayne. Oh, not Dwayne Johnson.
No, not Dwayne. Not what you
If you
smell.
smell. Have they ever made a rock with The Rock saying that on it?
What?
Like,
That sounds like it should
Oh my
happen.
God.
haven't, well, why not?
why not?
Other than he would get his royalties out of it.
Well, yeah.
In one way, shape,
If we
or
could
form.
just like convince him that he has a disc named after. Well, it's not, but you know, just the rock.
Yeah.
But it'd have to be like super hard plastic, indestructible.
The toughest.
Yeah.
It should be scented like something. Do you smell?
Yeah.
And yeah, and the picture can't be of like the current rock. It has to be like that old school kind of like when he first started doing the smell.
Yeah.
What the rock. Okay, so what I bring it up is, so I consider the rock as being kind of the disc icon. So is there a more popular disc? I think there are discs that approach that, but as far as rocks, like I think rock is the disc.
I think you could go company by company and look at things.
Really more than the Buzz?
I think so.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the Buzz too, but
Best selling disc of all time.
But you
Buzz.
think a classic rock, what, as far as icon goes, is there any other disc that has influenced a market more than, especially a segment of discs more than the rock? The rock, I mean, everybody copies the rock.
What came first, the Rock or the Buzz?
The rock.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm tempted to say the Buzz is the answer to your question.
I mean, yeah, that's like hard for me because I really haven't thrown rocks that much. I'd throw the Buzz.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
for me, that's just like the go-to disc for me.
So what I was going to ask, I pretty much know your answer at this point, is what disc is going to dethrone the Buzz? I mean, the rock.
See? Yeah,
It's going to be the Buzz.
It's going to be the Buzz.
So, all right.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know if those two, can those two gain popularity at this point?
I feel like
Can
they're
they-
like
is there room
plateaued.
to grow
Right.
on the popularity of those two discs? I mean, I guess as market expands, maybe
Sure.
But I feel like the more like they hold such a high place that everybody's trying to copy, copy those molds that like that's how popular they are. Like they've reached the peak and like everybody's trying to catch up with a mold
Sure.
similar to those. Maybe. I don't know.
Lone Star disc, the MIDI,
Yeah, it's a good disc.
I haven't thrown
going right
it
to
yet.
the top.
You think so?
I,
With
It
the
is a good
eyebrows
disc.
up.
I love the stamp on the disc.
It is.
Well,
I
is,
love
like,
most
is
of
the
their
EMAC
stuff.
Truth catching up to that at all?
I
Or not?
feel like for a while it was really climbing, and then I think it fell off, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I think it did.
I think it did too.
It's weird because like the AV, you think of like putters, it's like AVR, like something like that, like iconic putter. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I think you could go break it down by each category, driver, fairway, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
But if you're like going just like overall disc, yeah, one of those two for sure.
Should have like a round robin tournament style or bracket style and see who the most iconic disc is. I know they do that every year on
I
like,
feel like someone's done that.
yeah, I want to say Ulti, was it Ulti World that did that?
Maybe.
They used to do the most iconic discs,
It
but
was like a bracket style thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of remember that.
yeah. So yeah, that was just my question because I always thought the rock was kind of the icon of, and I guess the Buzz you can put there too. But you bring a point where there's really not much. Like, how much more room is there for those two discs? Like, can they continue to gain popularity? Like I said, because if you walk up to anybody and say, "What does this fly like?" Well, it flies like a rock. Oh, okay, I get it. Everybody knows that. Flies like a Buzz. I think I get fewer people that are like, "Oh yeah," than a rock. And I think that's just the availability of the rock.
Okay.
Because Walmart, Dick's, every sporting goods store there is has them.
Yeah.
So, Dunham's
Might just depend on which crowd you're speaking to, too.
Yeah.
probably.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like as more and more players enter, they're either they're gonna find those discs and either they're gonna throw one or the other, or there's maybe some spot for both. But
Sure.
yeah,
I think the growth is in the overall market expansion, not a market share that the Rock or the Buzz is going to have.
Okay.
I think the competition with those just keeps heating up, and not that they'll ever sell less of them, because more people are just going to be playing and buying stuff, but I don't think their market share will go up.
No,
I don't think that.
it's kind of more of a rising tides float all ships or whatever.
Yep.
yeah, that makes sense.
I get that. I like that. All right. So Speaking of unicorns, you see this pimple on my forehead?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I do.
It hurts a lot.
It's the most sensitive part of your body.
Is it really the forehead?
No, I
No,
mean,
but-
Oh, right now, currently. That was an off mic discussion. We had a quick conversation about the most sensitive part. And I said genitals and then quickly changed. It was like, well, maybe your eyes. And then we went from there. And what'd you say, JP? It was eyes and what? Nose?
Neck.
Neck. It was the neck, not
Yeah.
the nose. I don't know. why.
Lulu, whenever she like grabs for me, it's always the neck. Like she'll be like, "Daddy," I'm like, "No, I don't want to be choked." Like, I mean, it's hard for a 3-year-old to choke you, but like, you know, just like it's like under like choke slam, like 3.
I could see it now. Man dies from 3-year-old daughter. Rear naked choke. He didn't tap soon enough.
No.
All right. Well, let's go over what we bought. So, throwers, hangers, flippers. What do you got? I did buy something this week.
Awesome. So did I. I bought 2 chupacabras.
Yeah.
One of the alpha
Stars.
and one of the glow.
Okay.
Tried to look for the flattest ones. Mm-hmm. And then I also bought a dome.
Oh, yeah.
And man, that thing, that's
Have you thrown it?
I haven't thrown it yet, but it's definitely the domiest disc I've thrown.
Yeah.
Or not thrown, but have. Like, I think I had
Domiest disc you have? Seriously?
how many discs do
No,
I
I said domiest out of all the
I
discs
think,
you have.
honestly, I think it's the domiest disc I have.
Really?
it has to be the domiest disc ever then.
Yeah, I was gonna say. 'Cause
Maybe. I mean, I had a river, like Opto River, that's pretty domey that I used to throw, but just the way the wing and like super rigid to get that dome up. Like, I haven't done the comparison, but it's up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And both throwers.
At least to test them out.
Okay.
Yeah, it might make my like other bag of like throwing stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jordan.
I did buy something. I bought the MIDI. That's
The
what
MIDI,
brought that
okay.
up, the Lone Star. I haven't thrown it yet,
Okay.
but I feeling the Lone Star stuff. Personally, I feel like a lot of their plastics too flexible,
It is. Yeah.
and I grabbed the MIDI. I think it's Alpha.
Yep.
Plastic, and it was the stiffest one we had. Like it feels good. I really like the feel. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's like a marble blue and stamps awesome. But I don't ever buy stuff just to keep it and look at it. I'm gonna be throwing it.
Throwing it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we all bought Lone Star. I bought a Lariat. Well, 2 Lariats, actually. I
Nice.
bought an Alpha and a Bravo. So I found, and I went out and played like 6 holes with Caden and then came back to the shop and kept it open on 4th of July. And I got out and threw it, and the Alpha is considerably less stable than the Bravo. The Bravo is more stable than the Alpha. The
that's
Bravo's the real
interesting.
flexy one, too.
Right. It's supposed to be the other way around, I thought.
No, yeah. I mean, the 2 that I have, I hope I'm getting this right. The flexier one, which is Bravo, I believe,
that's Bravo.
is much more stable than the Alpha. And I really love the way the Alpha flies. The Bravo, I like it too. It just wasn't what I was expecting with the Neg 1. I mean, it flew more like a Thunderbird, like just straight, like a 0, I would say, because I think a Thunderbird is a 9.0 or 9.40 or something like that.
Something like that.
And it flew a lot like a Thunderbird, which I like. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I was kind of expecting an FD, a faster FD.
Yeah.
The flexy one, the Bravo, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that flew exactly what I expected it to fly like.
I mean, I was talking to Cam the other day about Lone Star stuff, and like I don't know if their flight numbers are as spot on with how discs are flying. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if they were to go to their audience of like people who bought stuff, they'd probably get like, if you were to ask people, they'd probably be giving you different flight numbers.
I think so. Well, and
know,
even in the discs, so I've thrown the Armadillo. I've thrown all 3 of the. Well, I've thrown 3 of their all 3 of the plastics of
Yeah, there's
Armadillo. Well, no, because they have
The
the
Vector one, yeah.
So I've thrown 3 of the 4 plastic type, or 3 of the 5 plastic types, and the Moonshine is much less stable than I believe it was the Bravo, and then the Bravo and
Did you just call one
Victor.
Moonshine?
Or Glow?
Just Glow.
Glow.
Yeah,
Sorry, the Glow. The Glow is much less stable than the Bravo, but the Bravo and the Victor are very close to each other. So Moonshine. I call all of them moonshine.
so on the trilogy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But all in all, I love both of the discs. They are 2 different discs, same mold, 2 different discs. It reminds me of Innova. Like you pick them up off a different rack, and they're like completely different discs, same mold. So yeah, that's what I got. So there we go. And those are both throwers.
A good sign or a bad sign, you think?
I think it's, I don't know.
The fact, the same mold.
Yeah.
As a purchaser, feels so different. Yeah.
As a purchaser, if each plastic is consistent, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
If it's different within the plastic, then I would probably start having an issue with it. Because I think that's how DD is. No, it's not. No, DD's pretty consistent almost through all of them.
There's no way Latitude's not letting them be.
Yeah.
Nothing's leaving this factory without it being like tested and.
Yeah, the only plastic that makes a huge difference is the Lucid X, Opto X.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty minimal.
Yeah.
The difference. It's more the way they beat in than the initial flight, I would say.
Yeah. Well, in Innova is per plastic. There's a difference between plastics.
Yeah.
And they even started signifying it through their flight numbers.
Yeah, they
started to change their flight numbers. And then I don't have enough experience with Discraft, other than I know that the ESP and the Z tend to be a bit more stable than Big Z and their whatever the other one is.
I mean, that's the only plastics I really throw of Discraft is ESP or Z, maybe Z Flex.
Yeah, so I don't have enough, and I can't talk about Prodigy because I've only thrown one of their discs. So, but. Yeah, so there you go. So here's a preview. So we're going to go over listener bag. We'll probably go over Jordan's bag as well. We have USWDGC. We'll go over Idlewild picks, and then we will have a random question live. We don't know what it is yet, and then I'll do some shop updates, and then that's it. We'll go on to the Pick It Our Monday.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's it. We'll stop. There'll be no more. After how many episodes?
Between Monday and we're getting up to 50 between Monday and regular episodes.
Yeah. And I'm going to start a knitting podcast too. And JP said he was going to quit the podcast because his OnlyFans is blown up. So one of these days we'll get it.
So I have never gone on OnlyFans at all to,
let me tell
present information or look at other people's.
Yeah.
But man, I just saw that Carmen Electra has one. And let me tell you, as a teenage kid
and MTV,
holy smokes. She was,
Denise Richards has one too now.
Who does?
Denise Richards. Her daughter started one, and now she has one.
Yeah, see, to me, she doesn't.
Did you ever see the movie Wild Things?
Yeah.
Okay. She's in Wild Things with them Campbell.
Well, the better movie is Necessary Roughness.
Yes.
But I feel like she's lost some. But I'm like, okay, what does Carmen Electra look like now? She's still got it, man. Still got it.
What was the game show she used to host?
Who?
It was on MTV. What was it called?
Oh,
Carmen Electra?
Yeah. Because it was Jenny McCarthy who did it, and then
Singled
Carmen
Out.
Electra took it over.
I can picture her like standing on a balcony.
Yeah.
and-
Is it Singled Out?
Wasn't it with like Carson Daly or something?
Maybe it was singled out.
There's like there's
Maybe.
different categories, and then like she'd go up to something and like rip them off, and like
That's
all the
it.
guys were like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. It would be like during spring break, right?
No, they had it all the
Or
time.
just all the time.
Yeah.
Because I remember they used to do the spring break
Chris
live
Hardwick
too.
was the
Chris-
host for a while.
Oh, I love MTV. Well,
Loved.
loved. Yeah. This is post. Everybody was so mad when they started doing shows, but then they started doing shows like that, and I was like, not against it.
Speaking of old school MTV, Beavis and Butthead Do the World is
Universe.
coming soon. Or Universe. Yeah,
Universe.
yeah,
Oh.
Universe.
Yeah, because
Paramount
they said
Plus,
"Do America."
Yeah, that was the
That was the
old one.
first movie,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Do the Universe is coming. I'm excited.
My
for
favorite
that.
part of that is when he's like, just move your feet really fast and jump out, and then he hits him on the back. He goes tumbling down the highway. It's one of my favorite things in the world. My mom asked me. She goes, "Were you a Beavis and Butthead guy?" And I go, "Oh, you have no idea how many times I pulled that shirt over my head
Yeah,
and put my
Cornholio.
arms up. I am Cornholio."
Yeah. Come to Butthead.
That's right. Oh, they were such
Like the
losers, but so
dancing they would
awesome.
do, it's like he was just like bopping his butt around and like
Didn't they used to make appearances on Daria? No, that's where Daria started, was on Beavis and Butthead, wasn't
I
it?
think she
Yeah.
was like a small
Yeah.
part in it.
Right.
Kind of like King of the Hill started from the
Yes.
diarrhea.
beef.
That's right.
I don't know how I know all this stuff. Good Lord.
Oh my goodness, you're awesome. All right. So, listener bag review. So I apologize, David, but we're going to go right into your bag. So this is Stuff and Things Workshop. And I think that's Stuff and Things Workshop at Stuff and Things Workshop on Instagram. So says, first off, it was great to meet us because I actually ran into him in the shop. Happened to be there. It was just after you left. And he says he's been playing for about 4 or 5 years. He moved to Sitka, Alaska, and there was no courses. So, oh no, that was a 4 or 5 year break. He started in the early 2000s. He had a 4 or 5 year break when he moved to Sitka, Alaska. There was no courses, and he throws a fairly mixed bag. And he says he has a PDF attached of his bag just in case we could get it printed off. But he has a pretty substantial list of discs here. So what we try to do for you, Jordan, is just basically we go through and we go one by one, read them off, take turns. I know you listen. So, and then we'll go back and say what we feel he could be adding to it or what we like about it, what we don't like about it. And then we'll go on to yours. So I'll start with his putters. So he has 2 hand-eye stamped EMAC judges, a Castoplast K1 Berg. He has an Axiom Envy Electron Soft and an Envy Eclipse Glow Plastic. He has a Westside Ghost Stamped Burst Soft Harp. So that's one of those. I'm assuming it's one of the... oh, no, Ghost Stamp is. Okay. Same color as the disc. And then a Westside Hand Eye VIP Clear Harp.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, mids, he has a Dynamic Discs Hand-Eye Lucid Bounty, a Discmania Neo Mutant, a Dynamic Discs Hand-Eye Lucid Glimmer EMAC, Dynamic Discs Moonshine EMAC Truth, Dynamic Discs Biofusion EMAC, and a Castoplast K1 Cax Z.
All right.
Oh, I go. Am I up? Or?
Yeah, it's
oh,
you.
wow.
Go for
Your
the
turn.
fairways. Go.
I was in my head. I'm thinking, what is a Cax Z? All right. Fairway drivers. He's got a Dynamic Discs Moonshine Evader, a Lat 64 Opto X Explorer, Dynamic Discs Lucid X Maverick, Dynamic Discs Lucid X Glimmer Maverick, Discmania C-Line FD, an MVP Cosmic Neutron Volt, and a Discmania Neo Splice. Ooh, that does the fairways.
All right, back to drivers. So he has a 21 Ledgestone Raptor, which I think he picked up in the shop. He has a Finish Line Era. He has a Heavyweight Sapphire, a Chameleon Sapphire, Opto Chameleon Sapphire. He has a Lucid X Sergeant Beefcake. He has a VIP Ice Chameleon Boatman, a Lucid X Trespass 2018. Those are those orange ones. He has a Lucid X Glimmer Trespass, and a VIP Queen, and a Lucid Raider.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So, and then he says other stuff. Oh, he listed more stuff. Oh, cool. So,
Lots of stuff.
in his other stuff, he has a disc retriever, hand-eye towel, a Mandalorian towel, a Moose Discs Mini. What's a Moose Discs?
I don't know.
Water jet cut stainless steel EMAC Mini. Man, he's got a lot of minis. Well, I guess there's just 2. 2 ultra fine.
Maybe more than some.
Yeah, exactly. He has 2 retractable Sharpies for all the aces. Dinosaur taco pattern whale sack.
Yeah.
Ripped Revenge deck. A tick removal key. Man, why do we not have
Wow.
tick
I know,
removal keys?
That's
Smart,
something-
dude.
That's smart. Yeah. And multiple water bottles. So do you clean the water bottles or do they just stay in there?
Holy cow! How do you fit all this in your like? Do you split it between your cart and your bag?
I think it's a wagon.
Yeah. I will never forget when we played Ripped Revenge, and we were on what is now hole 16, and you drew the card that was like trade shots, and you just ripped your drive into the woods and traded with Shane.
Straight backwards off the tee into the woods. Yeah.
He just smiles and turns around at me and then rips one into the woods. It just starts
best
giggling.
played Ripped Revenge card ever.
Trade drives.
All right. Here's your drive.
Anyway.
All right. So the Casaplast CAX Z, K1 CAX Z, 6502.
Yep.
So is what it is.
Yeah, because
I had to look it up
and
too.
there's a CAC Z, and I think the CAC Z is the more stable version of it.
Okay.
I have one at home, but I haven't really thrown it too much.
Yeah, it looks good. Speaking of Casaplast, got the approval.
Ooh.
Next drop, we're getting them. So
Nice.
Don't know when that's going to be, but we
Cool.
will. All right. So look, he pushes a bag. It's a dynamic disc Zuka transit cart.
Oh, this
with
makes
a putter
sense.
Oh,
pouch.
so that's how you can fit up.
Yes.
That's a beast of a cart.
Yeah, because he has the
Yep.
top bin that'll hold
Yep.
like 20 discs or so, and then
Yep.
he has that under
I forgot
compartment,
about
the
that.
two
That makes
things,
sense.
and a putter pouch. So
Yeah, this makes sense then.
Yeah.
It's almost a wagon.
yep. And then he
I-
has a Ledgestone grip bag, which is a BX2, right? Or BX3, BX2.
So grip bag, that's a 2, I think.
It's a
BX2, pretty sure.
So, by the way, do you know what the like AX5, BX2, CX3? Do you know what the 325, like the G2, is that the second generation? I know this is a weird topic. to
I
talk
don't
about,
know. You said CX5, and I thought of like the Mazda CX5.
but- Vroom vroom
Right, because like
or zoom zoom. Sorry.
I have a BX2
Get it right.
Dempsey is the CS2. Maybe it's just the whatever
So
version.
it might have
of
been
the
a
bag.
version. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably, like Prodigy does the same type of thing.
Yeah, they have the BP1.
BP, whatever, V1,
Yeah, that
V2,
could be-
V3.
Yeah, but they put the V in there. It makes it really simple.
Version 2. All right, I got it.
So, all right. So we'll start with this putter. I mean, the only thing that I have is I'm assuming you putt with the hand-eye stamped EMAC judges. I don't have anything bad to say about that. EMAC judges are a judge of another name. I mean, they're a little bit shallower, but they
Micro bead.
and a micro bead, but
Yeah.
they hold the same flight. I've said that 1,000 times. I think the K1 Berg. I love that disc. It has since made it out of my bag now, just because. I don't know, like it just sits at the bottom, and every once in a while I pull it out. But I'm just so confident with my judges. I don't really use any other putters. Envies are fantastic discs. I've said it before. Every time I throw the Envy, it goes a lot further than I ever think it does. So they're a great throwing putter. I don't know anything about the plastic types as far as whether one's stable or less stable. And then the Harps are fantastic upshot discs. I didn't jive. I mean, I jived with the Harp for a little bit, and then something changed where I couldn't go with the Harp. The Suspect got me. The Zone got me, and then I went back to the Tactic, and I've been throwing the Tactic pretty well. So, but I like the Harp. So I don't really have much to point out on that. I think it's a good spread. It's a lot, but
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
They all make sense.
Yeah.
Like the putters, the throwers, and the approachers.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, everything makes sense.
Yeah, it hits the 3. You're not missing anything out of there. Like I said, the only thing I don't throw is that middle, those throwers, because I just throw the judge. But outside of that, I have
You
my
know I'm the
approach.
same way.
Yeah, you throw the Warden.
You'll
so-
hear my bag in a bit. But
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So, all right. So, you want to go with the mids then, since you did it?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Bounty, understable. Mutant, really overstable.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 3 Emacs. I mean, that's your stable to slightly understable
Yep.
right there. Especially the Biofusion. You're gonna, if it's beaten, that's closer to the Bounty. And then the CAC Z is funny. Like you just said, the number is 6502. I always think of the like once you get to 6, it's like that's a really weird number for a mid range. I always think it should be like a fairway at that point. Like
Yeah.
it's just a weird.
Does
Depends on the disc though,
Yeah.
because I've had a core in the past.
Those are
and I
sixes.
loved it. They're sixes, but they feel like fives
Yeah.
in your hand. Like they look and feel like a
I
five.
just feel like the wing on it's just not like I always throw buzzes, and I'm like that wing's just like a little wider. You know, it just feels more of a fairway to me.
I've held the core and the bounty, and I mean they feel similar if I remember rightly, right?
They do, but the bounty's a 4 and the core is a 6.
Yeah, and they feel super similar. I remember when you let me throw that one, we were out in the countryside. I don't know if you remember that. And I was like, let me see if I can hit the garbage can.
Yeah.
And just absolutely perfectly laced it. And I was like, it's a bounty, because at that time I was throwing a lot of bounties. I was like, man, it feels like a bounty. I love that thing. And that was, when did you get that one? That was must have been after Ledgestone, right? Is that when you started throwing those?
It was right when after the DDO
Oh,
got canceled. Might have been the last GBO, glass blown.
okay.
It was the 2020 though. It got canceled. That was in my players pack that I got cut. That I still got the players pack.
That's right.
Even though the event got canceled,
Yes.
so they didn't have to refund money. It was all good because the players pack was awesome.
Yeah, that was a
That's
big one.
where I got the core, and that's when I started throwing it. I just fell in love with it.
Yeah. And that was a Opto X or a Chameleon or something like that?
It
or?
was like a Chameleon X. It felt like a Fusion X kind of. I don't know if
Okay.
they called it something else.
Yeah.
They might have called it Chameleon X or something.
Okay.
It was really unique. It was
It was a cool
good.
disc. It was a cool disc. Yeah, I like it. But you're right, though, because I think you get into some of the sixes. Isn't it Leopard? Isn't that a 6?
Leopard's a 6.
That feels like a fairway to me.
It does.
such a different rim than.
Such
It is,
different
yeah.
rim. Yeah,
Yeah.
way different rim. So I think it's just like the bevel and the way they.
Yeah.
Because the Bounty and the Core have that kind of concaved. Yeah, that'd be concave, not convex. Like concaved lower lip.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. So what do you think about it? His little assortment here.
I like it. I don't see much. I mean, I'm a big Mutant fan, so that's cool. I mean, the Lucid, Moonshine, I feel like those are kind of interchangeable. I don't see much difference in stability in those. Just depends on how beat in they are, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, I think it's a good mix.
I layer Emacs. I don't have much of an issue. It seems like the CAX, because the Emac feels like or throws like a 6 to me. You get so much distance out of an Emac. It's kind of like a cheater fairway almost. You know, it's a mid with a mid frame, but
Right.
So I look at the Castoplast, that CAX Z. It seems like it's a duplicate to an Emac. So it looks
close,
like
yeah.
you're pretty heavy on that mold. And you have, I'm assuming you're throwing your Lucid Bounty as an understable and your Mutiny as an overstable. It's that same thing I kind of talked with Caden about, like that confusion. You have so many discs in your bag.
Yeah.
Are you going to second guess a disc instead of just going with what you're comfortable with?
Yeah, I wonder how often he reaches for. Is it an even split reaching for any of those, or is there like one that he's actually always grabbing out of it, and the other ones are just fillers?
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be.
I mean, that's me. I mean, like, I keep a lot of comets in my bag. I really throw one comet. That's the only comet I have. And the only time I throw another one is when I throw the first one bad.
Rethrow.
Exactly, yeah. It's
That's
my
a
player,
good
too.
reason to have another one, though. That's good practice. So
Yep.
honestly, yeah.
So, yeah. But, no, I like your choices. I mean, you are very trilogy heavy, which I have no issues with. But, yeah, I know there's some, like, you play with the Comet, play with the Meteor, for your understable. Those are fantastic discs. I always push the Comet because I think it's a great disc. And then if you wanted to go in your overstable, I don't know. There's so many different overstables. Like the Verdict is a fantastic one. Still pushes you in that trilogy line, but I think it's great. So, all right, fairways, Jordo.
Jordo. Dynamic. The Evader. Am I going over all of them here again?
Well, just what you think. What you think of it?
Well, I've thrown. He's got an Evader and he's got a Moonshine Evader and an Opto X Explorer, and man, I feel like those are about the same discs.
I do, too.
I've thrown both of those.
Yeah.
I currently throw the Explorer all over the place.
Yeah.
And I know them pretty well. Those feel like the same disc, almost interchangeable. The Maverick, the Glimmer Maverick, that's just going for an understable. So the Evader Explorer is probably slightly overstable. Did he say how far he throws? Did you get that?
I didn't see that at all.
Okay. I mean, those might be this is overstable, and that's totally reasonable, honestly.
Yeah.
Mavericks for understable, an FD, a volt, and a splice. I mean, I would need some help with the volt and the splice.
The splice is beefy. Like it is
Super
super
beefy.
beefy.
Okay, so that's the utility overstable.
Yeah.
Okay, that
it's
makes
got,
sense.
It's got Firebird numbers, but it almost feels more stable to me.
Okay.
I want to say the volt is overstable as well, isn't it?
And
It's-
I know
I know
enough
it's
about
a-
the
I know it's
FD.
like a
That's a nice
speed
spot. I like the variety then, given that the splice is a very overstable. I kind of like the variety he's got going. The volt I don't know very well, but even if you left the volt out, like you just could get rid of it, and I would still say this is a really good spread of fairways.
Yeah.
And my guess is he probably only uses one or the other more of the Evader Explorer, one or the other more of one of the Mavericks.
Yeah.
But that's a thing you always have to have the backups, so it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, you slowly get to beat them in and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, and place fillers. So you're, like you said, you just don't flop around while you're walking down the
Yeah,
course.
you know,
Like,
rattling.
yeah,
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. And I feel the same way about the Evader and the Explorer. It's nice that they're so similar because if you ever have an issue and you need to pick something up, either of those will work. I mean, because I can't honestly tell the difference when I hold them in my hand if I have my eyes closed.
Well, the feel's the same.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly the
absolutely.
same. But I do know that the Moonshine and the Opto X, I'm pretty sure those Opto X Explorers are pretty beefcake.
Opto X is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was in my head I had Fusion X in there too, and
Okay.
there's a difference there. Opto X is pretty beefy though, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And the Volt is 4.53 or something like that, or 2. Let's see. Yeah, it's 85.52. So
Oh.
it's like the new FDs, just a little faster
Okay.
than the new
You mean
FDs.
minus 0.5.
Minus 0.5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like the new, it's basically like the new
So he's
FD.
kind of got the splice as the overstable utility, and then he's kind of got pairs like the FD Volt seem the same,
Pretty
two
similar.
Mavericks, Explorer Evader, two.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's kind of got them in pairs,
Yeah.
and then the utility overstable.
Yeah.
That's smart to me. I don't know.
The one thing I see in this is that he has some awesome plastics. Like these, I bet you his discs are awesome looking. A lot of the stuff I see here, it's all these fantastically beautiful plastics. Like
So he goes for looks as well as function.
yeah, like the Cosmic Neutron, like that. Those are great looking discs. So, anyways, so we go into the drivers. So Ledgestone Raptor, the Finish Line Era. So I don't have much to say other than he has a ton of drivers.
Yeah.
I love the Era. The Raptor is a great utility disc because it's overstable.
I feel like the Raptor and the Splice are pretty close,
That would make sense.
but I think
The Captain's Raptor. The Raptor is a little bit less stable than the Captain's Raptor.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, the Raptor to me is kind of like a FD3, so it's got like maybe a little more glide than the Splice, and like the fade, it fades a little less than the Splice as well.
Probably why you put it in the drivers
Yeah, that
category.
could be.
Yeah, yeah.
Fairway.
Yeah. You know, and I like the Lucid X Trespass of 2018. I bag one too. And then the Lucid X Glimmer Trespass. I don't know anything about that one, but it sounds awesome. And I'm sure it holds that same Lucid X Trespass. And the Lucid Raider and the Lucid X Trespass, they're very similar. Other than the feel, the flight seems to be very. You've thrown Raiders,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, they seem very similar. Like a fresh Lucid X Trespass is very similar to a Lucid Raider. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I guess.
yeah. And then he has the
The
Sapphire.
feel to me is so different.
They are way
because
different
the
feel.
trespass rim's so much narrower. The Raiders rim's huge.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, they have that
But
real big.
flight
thick
wise, I
rim.
guess. Yeah, I see that.
In the Sapphire, I've thrown the heavyweight Sapphires. They're bombers. They're fast, fun discs because they still get a lot of movement, but they have enough finish on the heavyweight ones that they come back. The regular Sapphires, I've never thrown one. Like
They're
most
easy
of them
to
are.
throw, and they're like 150s.
Yeah, they're real lightweight.
Yep. Yeah.
So, I mean, I like it. I don't have any issues with what he has here. I mean, it's a lot, but I after reading and I remember chatting with him, I think what he was looking at was what are some options out there after looking at his bag? What are some options out there that we throw that is something that he could try in place of some of these discs.
So he loves trying stuff.
He loves trying stuff because
I mean,
he says
it's pretty obvious from looking at this list.
exactly. So he says up until he moved back to South Illinois, he threw exclusively Trilogy. Last year I tried adding brands and now throw a fairly mixed bag. I'm really enjoying the different options out there.
Yeah,
so
cool.
let me know if there's anything out there.
I like it.
So yeah, I think I gave him some options already. I think the Era, I'm really enjoying the Era. I think it's a very workable disc. And in the flight, in the weight ranges, it does make a difference in that disc. So I'm liking it. And the Trespass, there's so many different options for Trespass too, that those are great options. But I always recommend the Wraith on anybody that likes the Trespass or the Era. The Wraith is a good complement too, because the Wraith has such a huge variety. The Halo Wraiths are really beefy, and you go up to G-Stars, and they're fantastically flippy. So you can get them all the way across the board. So yeah, so I think that's it. And I think the only thing you're missing from your bag is DG Max Wax. Why do you not have one?
Doordisc.com.
Yeah, exactly. Or a Door Disc Mini. What's up with that? We don't have laser cut ones though. Laser cut water jet stainless steel.
It's really specific.
Yeah. Exactly. So, all right. I appreciate it, David. Thank you very much. Stuff and Things Workshop on Instagram. He does some awesome stuff. He actually makes some signs and things like that. I think he's made like the Gamma sign. I think he's made like Foundation Disc Golf a sign.
That's cool.
Things like that. And I'm sure he has a Door Disc one coming for us. Hint, hint.
Commission.
But yeah, so that's that. But I appreciate it very much. I hope you liked some of our recommendations. We like your bag. I like your plastic. So keep it up. But I think you can add a couple more things to your bag. You don't have enough in there yet.
Gotta get that wagon attachment part.
Exactly. Do they make like double trailers, like the semi rigs?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. If they're legal in
450
Wisconsin, I don't know.
Right.
They are.
Just put the little
He's
hitch.
in Alaska though. They gotta be legal.
Yeah. Well, no, he's in Illinois now.
He was. He
yeah,
used to
that's
be.
right.
Yeah, he's in Illinois now. So, all right. If not, we can try to make that happen. I got to use the one we can try to finagle. So, all right, Jordan, your time.
All right.
I know your game and your bag so well that
You already know it's not going to be new to you. So, putters, are we calling a pro like up to speed fours? We're calling putters?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I bagged 3 Wardens.
Hate it.
It's
Oh, I almost spit Coke coffee
well,
everywhere.
come out.
Just
and,
kidding.
Come out and now throw me with putters.
I can't. I just thought I'd get a
Let's see what I
reaction
do.
on that.
I do 1 classic hybrid, 2 classic blends. Is what I currently have in there. I putt with a classic hybrid or classic blend. I'll throw any of them. Doesn't matter to me. And then I bag 1 classic blend suspect. Mm-hmm. That's all my putters up to speed for.
Yeah.
How is your suspect? Is it getting beat in like your other one yet?
Yeah, it's getting there now. It's getting.
I gotta say,
the sweet spot.
someone has to have pulled that thing out of that pond.
Oh yeah,
Well, they
you
probably
were with me.
Yeah.
in that windy practice day right into the water there.
Yeah, Muni Blue. Yeah.
You know, and they post them on their site. I keep forgetting to go look. Remember that shop?
Yeah.
Across from DD store?
Yeah.
It might be there. But
Who
it's
knows?
probably too long now. They've probably sold it. So yeah, that covers my putters. So 3 Wardens, 1 suspect.
They probably threw it in the garbage can. Like,
This thing is ridiculous.
it's been in there for a long time.
I don't know. So a lot of disc golfers might look at that and be like, "This was well loved."
Prime.
It was well loved.
So go on to the mids in my bag. I carry it's funny because it's a mid. They call it a speed 4. I carry 1 Bounty. Mm-hmm. I recently lost my favorite one. It was a Fusion. So now I have a Lucid Bounty. I carry a Opto Compass. And then I carry a Lucid Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's super, super old.
I was going to say, I don't know if you can call
Older
it
than
Justice
time
either.
itself.
That was your first
That
Justice.
It's still got some overstable finish
Oh,
to it.
it really does. It really
has the
does.
finish,
But it'll glide now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It'll glide, but still the overstability.
Yep. It's a beautiful disc.
That's all I carry. I carry one Bounty, one Compass, and that Justice.
Yeah.
We go to fairway drivers. I bag it, and I've actually used it here and there. The Katrina Allen Proto.
Yeah.
For my understable, and it's understable, but it's so fun. When a round matters a lot, I don't think I've brought it out, but I love bringing it out for fun. And then I carry 3 Explorers, a really old Moonshine, a moderately used now Emerson Keith Fusion X, or what? There's a Fusion, but Gold X.
Gold
Yeah,
X.
Rolex, yeah.
And then I have a Emerson Keith Opto X. So it's 3 different stabilities that I have in there. And then I carry a Felon, Lucid Felon for overstable. That does it for my fairways. I'm kind of doing a weird thing. That I have 2 that I consider in-betweeners then.
Kind of control drivers.
Yeah, I have an understable and an overstable, what I would call control drivers. The understable one is a musket. It's an Opto musket. And then the overstable one is a Fusion Sergeant. I kind of put those in a slot between my fairways and my drivers. Yeah. And then when you go to the drivers, I carry 2 Graces, both Kristen Tatar ones. The first one, her first signature one was
not the Halo.
Not the Halo, the non-Halo. That's the most overstable one I've thrown, and I've thrown a lot of Graces to this point. By far, that's the most overstable one. The Orbit replaced the first run that I had in there. I feel like those are about the same in stability. And then I'm down to 1 Trespass. I used to be a huge Trespass guy. I'm down to 1 Fusion Trespass, door disc stamped. It is awesome. And then
Is that the old fundraiser one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the original one, yeah.
And then I carry 2 Rives. One, I've been layering them. I actually lost my original, most beat up one, but I have another one that's beat up, and then I have a new one in. So 2 Rives for overstable drivers. That's my bag.
That's it.
Simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
He knows what he likes.
Exactly.
I was just surprised you bumped the Trespasses out, but the way you were throwing the Grace, because the Grace is an 11, still same speed.
Yeah, well, Trespass is a 12, but it's a narrow rim for a 12.
Yeah.
So the
It
feel
is,
to me
yeah.
in hand was about the same.
Pretty the same, yeah.
And the
Yep.
flight's similar enough.
Yeah.
And then the Rive. The thing that I fell in love with was that Royal Grand plastic.
Yes.
It feels so good in my hand, the soft edges and everything. Like the Grace and Rive just fell right into my bag.
Yeah.
I didn't have to throw them long, and I put them in.
Yeah.
Do you have an Orbit, Grace?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find that it's less stable than the first run or the other Kristen Tatar one?
To me, it's equal with the first run.
Okay.
The first Kristen Tatar signature one, and that's just a Royal Grand.
Yeah.
But it's got her signature stamp. That's the most overstable run I've thrown.
Okay.
And that's my overstable one. My Orbit actually goes underneath that in stability.
Yeah.
And that one's my newest one too. So even with the Royal Grand being beat up, the Orbit's less stable.
Okay.
The new Orbit
Yeah.
is less stable. That Orbit flies like the first run to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's weird because you know, like inwardly, always like the Halo is supposed to be like more stable, but I've heard like even I was talking to somebody else. I bought a Orbit Escape, the Kona, and it's less stable than some other escapes that I've thrown for sure, which is kind of
Really?
weird.
Yeah, they're not associating their Orbit with overstability
right.
like Innova is associating their Halo
Yeah.
with overstability.
Yeah. They're just using it as this looks cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not saying
Yeah.
much about it at all.
So critique it, boys.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't have much to say because I know your game so well. So I can't pick apart because I know you have each one of those for a very good reason. And I've seen you throw them. You throw them all amazingly. It's the Warden thing for me.
You never talk me out of it. I tried. I tried
You
to
did.
get
You tried
rid
the
of it.
Penrose.
Yeah. Yeah.
I took them out of my bag completely. I tried,
Yep.
and they went right back in there.
Yep. I remember. And you're on a hot streak right now as far as putting goes.
Oh yeah.
It just He's
Yeah, and I always threw them well enough. Even when I tried the Penrose for putting, I kept a Warden in there for throwing because I throw it so well.
yeah.
And the bead with the Penrose, is that what bothered you with them, or?
No, nothing bothered me with
No.
them. It's just that they weren't Wardens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he, because when you first put him in your bag, you were Penroses. He was
everybody
going
bought
nuts.
them too.
Yeah, and everybody
Yeah.
bought him around here.
Yeah.
I putted the lights out when I
And
first got
Jordan
them.
was going nuts with them, and everybody, because of that was like, well, I think I'm going to buy some Penroses. So everybody was buying them because Jordan's sinking things from everywhere. And I'm like, hey, I'm doing the same thing with judges, and no one's buying judges. But, and
New toys, man.
I know, but yeah, everybody was like, I got to buy them. We got to buy them.
The plastic feels good though.
It's a good plastic.
Yeah.
It's a good plastic.
Oh, I like them. It's just, yeah, I mean,
They're not
then
Wardens.
I hit a cold streak, and then I was like, I had the Warden in my bag for throwing. I'm like, let me just try this. Every putt I'd started missing with the Penrose, I'm like, well, throw my Warden. I didn't make it. Like, okay, we're going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about the disc with the putts.
No.
It's not.
It's about how you use them.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I've said that. I mean, within 30 feet, it doesn't matter what you throw, I mean, yeah, let's stay away from the wide rim stuff, but if it's a blunt nose disc, like, it doesn't matter what you throw.
You got to execute it.
Yeah.
The disc is never going to do that work for you. You got to execute the putt. It's all on you.
Yep.
I mean, you're ripping a 400-foot drive. Yeah, a different disc is going to do something drastically different, but you got to execute the putt.
Yep. Yeah. So the only thing is, I found out recently, and I feel like I know this guy really well. He is not a Discraft fan.
No.
And it amazed me. Now, I knew you held that philosophy but I didn't know you wouldn't bag anything because of it. About the
Should we talk about this for Monday?
Oh, you want to do that? We can talk about it right now. I don't
okay,
care.
whatever.
If we hold it for Monday.
It's just a bunch of bandwagoners to me. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Sorry for the people that love it.
No. Well, it's true. I think we've mentioned it on the podcast before that. Well, you explain it.
Well, I only started when I started. Is it getting close to 7 now? It's like 7 years.
Yeah, I think it was like 17 you started, maybe.
And I got going, and it had this reputation when I first started playing of like, it was just like the dirty Discraft. It kind of got bagged on. Innova was it. Trilogy was coming up. Prodigy was, had hit already pretty well, and it was just like, I don't know. Nobody really seemed to care. Like, I've been going to events for a while. It was just like, okay, there's some Discraft here and there. Nobody really seemed to care. And then they signed Paul Macbeth and Paige Pierce, and just all of a sudden it's like everything they have is the hottest thing in the world. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Everything didn't change here.
The plastic didn't change. Nothing changed.
It was really confusing to me.
Yeah.
So just for that fact, and their plastic might have always been great. And if that's the case, good for them. And it probably is, because they've always been into all disc sports.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm not bagging on them as a company. It's just this kind of wave that came around at the signings that everybody changed. Even though Discraft, maybe they were always great, and they probably were. But perception just put everyone on a bandwagon, and I never get with bandwagons.
Yeah. Well, because when we went to Wixom, like when we went to Am Nationals, I thought when we walked, so we're idiots. We're like, hey, we're going to go to the Discraft store.
Yeah.
We go walking up to the headquarters and just walk in the front door of the headquarters. And some dude standing there. I'm like, you guys got a shop? Like, and he's like, no, this is just a warehouse. Like, there's
That sweet painted wall, though, and everything.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. And dude
I love
talked
the
to us.
artwork. That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, dude was super cool, talked with us. Like, you guys want us to take a picture? Like, it was really awesome. Like, for us being idiots walking in there, like, we own the place. Or like, we're going to buy
We wanted
some
to buy the
stuff.
place.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna make my way to the warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. You don't mind? I'm going to go pick some up,
Exactly.
And so it was, really cool. And in the event they put on was pretty awesome. And we got to play that Beat the Beast challenge. Like, there was some cool stuff they did. And I was like, kind of the stuff they did, it got me back here. And I remember talking to you on the way back home, like, man, like, I think the next set of baskets I want to buy are Chain Stars because I just want to try to support. But we had such a good relationship with DD. They're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. But anyways, and then when you said that, I was like, I never knew you. And then I thought about it. I'm like,
I've never picked up a Discraft disc.
it was your Nuke and your Drone, and that was the only two you ever had.
And that was way at the beginning of playing.
Way at the beginning, yep.
There's a drone at the shop you can buy.
Oh, I know. I've eyeballed it, and I have a little nostalgia with it. But I'm not putting a Discraft disc in my bag.
Yeah, because I remember when you lost that at Roland Ridge, you were a little bummed about it. You tried to, we couldn't find any because nobody carried.
Yeah,
Discraft.
they weren't even. And I think they maybe had stopped making the drone for a while. Am I imagining that? I don't know.
That's a possibility.
I feel like Presnell brought it back a little bit.
That might have been a great excuse for me not to get another one.
Yeah.
They don't make it anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, it blew my mind when I saw that. I was like, what? And then I started
All
to think
this
about
hot stuff coming up. You ever see me throwing it?
Never.
There's Forces, Undertakers, Buzzes,
Never.
Zones.
Yep.
I've never touched one of them because it's just bandwagon stuff to me.
Yeah. And I do have to say, the Comet was in my bag well before Paul Macbeth signed.
You're right. That's true. Yeah.
I tried the Buzzes when Paul Macbeth. I put the Buzzes in my bag. I tried Zones, but they quickly went out.
You went back to Emacs.
Yeah, I went back to Emacs. I just couldn't get the feel for them, and all the other ones I had were good. But nevertheless, I agree though, because you think of 2020 golfers, like anybody post COVID or pandemic, post pandemic golfers, like they're Discraft heavy.
I think so.
Yeah, and I don't blame that. Like if I started in 2020 instead of 6 or 7 years ago, it'd probably be the exact same way. I know that.
Yep.
Well, it's crazy too because around that time is when Jomez started putting. They're like, oh, they're throwing this disc, and guess what? Paul Macbeth is on all the lead card coverage, and everybody's like, oh, that's what he's throwing. Okay, I'm gonna go pick that up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Central Coast was doing it a little bit prior to that, but nevertheless, that was kind of when all that stuff started, and I feel bad for the people like Redbeard.
Casey.
Oh, Casey, yeah.
Yeah, like Discraft guy through and through, pre Paul Macbeth. Like he was the only one around here.
Him and Haley King as a little youngster.
Yes.
Yeah.
She got sponsored real early, I think, by Discraft, and I'm pretty sure they were rolling with Adam Hammis too when he was young, right out the gate, weren't they?
I thought he was a Trilogy guy.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know.
For some reason I thought he was a Trilogy.
But like I said, I'm not bagging on the company.
No,
they had their strongholds and like players and everything, but it's just the swing,
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying about that is I felt bad for him because he got dropped from the street team. And it wasn't because of his performance. I think it was just because they had so many people that were doing so many different things. And he was with them from well before,
Okay.
Yeah, him and Haley at the first tournaments we did together when I started playing, they're where I actually noticed Discraft.
Oh, okay.
Was watching them throw.
Yep. Yeah, I don't remember what Hammis was. No, because I don't remember. I remember
him throwing from like the deck of the clubhouse to what was it? The basket that's out of the woods.
Like whole.
This is at Rolling Ridge?
Yeah.
Oh man.
He was
No. This was at off the deck was that was at Riverside. He was throwing the big Annies off the deck or it was not the same one.
That was at Riverside?
That was at Riverside.
I thought I saw him doing something crazy
it was
off the Rolling Ridge like patio. That's right. They don't really have
they don't have anywhere to throw to though. There's no.
He can make some lines though.
Yeah, I'm sure he could. But yeah, he was throwing these big Annies because it was like him and Donnie Ferguson and I want to say it was like Michael Gilson and like all those guys were throwing big Annies like as high and far as they possibly could. And he was like over by the house, like throwing towards the woods. I think it's what is that hole? Because that would be 7, 16, 15 as you just come out of the woods. It's that first one.
Yes.
And he was like past the basket on that one.
Yeah.
That's a huge throw. That was a huge throw. And he was like 15 or 16
at
that time.
Yeah.
Maybe. I just remember him doing that and I was thinking to myself, I should try that. No, I would have made it to the volleyball court, which was like 250 feet away.
Try it on Disc Golf Valley or something.
Yeah, exactly. So all right. Well, there's the bag. Hope you like Jordan's bag. I can't say much because I've seen him throw all the discs. It's easy to criticize someone I don't know anything about their game. So
it is a thing because some people might think, like, I don't know, maybe there's not enough understable fairways or something. I've got to throw for the shots I need.
Sure.
Yep.
And you guys know it because you see me play.
Yeah. Exactly.
That one Explorer, that's not very stable anymore. The Musket, that handles my turnover shots. It's like, yeah.
Exactly. And you can shape that bounty basically on any line you want. I mean, it's...
Yeah, and I can get enough distance on that it might be a fairway for other people, and I can throw the bounty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works. So... All right, so let's go to USWDGC. So we made picks last week. And before we go over the winners, we'll go over what JP and I. So JP, you had Salonen, Gannon, and Scoggins. Mm-hmm. So you weren't too bad. And
after
then
round one, I was feeling pretty good.
That's great, man.
Yeah. So we'll have to turn off Jordan's mic when I say this name. So I had Pierce, Hansen, Allen. It is mine. So 1, 2, and 3. And Pierce was like 20-something, right? 21st, 23rd?
No, 30-something.
Really?
Irrelevant.
Washed up.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then Katrina Allen was tied for 4th. And then Ella Hansen, I don't even know if she was really she was a top 10, though, if I remember rightly.
She was on lead card or feature card, wasn't she?
She was just featured.
That's
but that was
first round. She didn't earn a spot on a lead card.
No,
the lead card, the earn spots, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. It was the same 4 girls every round.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like what a. It was a Innova sponsored event.
Yes.
And like all the women were Innova rounds 2, 3, and 4. Like you couldn't have asked for a better situation for them to like showcase who their players are.
Yeah.
FP40, Jen Allen's
Allen.
Innova.
Yep.
She won that, ran away with it.
Yeah.
Well, the FP50 and FP60 were both Innova winners.
And the
as well.
I think FJ15 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 5 out of I don't know how many.
There were 13,
divisions.
I think I counted.
Okay, so
No, 18 divisions.
So almost a
That's
third.
still good. Yeah, that's a
that's
third.
crazy.
Yeah. So, and Jordan was pointing out that we kind of bag on Innova for their selections and all that stuff. And then it comes to something like this, and like a third of the champions are there. I went through and I was going to do like a deep dive into percentages, and I got halfway through the I got about almost all the way through the FPO field, just figuring out how many people were sponsored by Innova.
I know you were asking. Yeah, you were wondering about that.
And I was like, this is too much work. I don't care. Like, I was just curious as to how many Innova sponsored players total there were. And I tried to look that up, and I couldn't find anywhere where it was. And then I went to their site and tried to figure out like women's and men's, and that's a nightmare as well. So I was just like, whatever, because I know they have one of the largest teams there are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
But good for them. So who it did? Haley King, finally back. Well,
She's only played 6 tournaments this year, I've heard.
Yeah.
Like, what?
She kind of lost some motivation early and needed just a mental reset is what I was hearing, and I could see that with her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know she was taking some there were some mental issues that were going on. I
Came back,
remember we had chatted about that.
She has a thing when she gets down hard.
Yeah. I didn't recognize her at first either. I was like, who's this player with glasses? Oh, that's Haley King. Like she's wearing.
Maybe she should need glasses. Like Wild Thing.
That Vince Vaughn.
Oh my
Is that
God.
Vince Vaughn? Yeah. Wild.
Not Vince
Mo
Vaughn.
Vaughn. No, what?
What?
Why
Charlie
can't I think of
Sheen.
it? Charlie Sheen.
His name's Vaughn, though.
His-
It's something
yeah,
Vaughn.
Rick Vaughn.
Rick Vaughn. There it is.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
He would have been a better choice for that role.
Oh my God.
The smooth talking pitcher.
Yeah.
He could talk his way into
Oh
a
my
save.
gosh.
Oh, that was great. So good for her. I'm super happy. I mean, she's a Wisconsin native, as Jordan alluded to. We've played with her in many events. We've seen her out there playing, so I'm super happy for her. I still just wish she was still on Discraft. Why,
Yeah.
I just.
But man, like, good for her. I mean, she was their big signing for the summer.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah.
about time.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then Valerie Mondahano, awesome. See her again, 2nd place. So she kind of pulled up in there. She wasn't even on lead card. She wasn't on, the feature card, and she
Killed it 4th round.
she just absolutely went nuts.
she was solid every round. Then
Yeah.
killed it 4th round.
Yeah.
And then look at Owen, man. That it's not both of those courses, because that's Elver and Token, right? Is what they played on.
Toyota. Vallarta at what?
No,
Yeah.
Elver and Token.
Yeah, it was Token and
okay.
Token 2 rounds, Elver's 2
Oh,
rounds.
okay.
Elver 2
Yeah.
rounds.
So we had, and Owen Scoggins. So you don't need to throw far. You just need to be accurate and putt well. And sure enough, there's Owen. And she was up there. I mean, she was in first or second basically the entire time, wasn't she?
She was lead card all 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, it was the same 4 people.
It was.
Yep.
Second, third, and fourth round.
Yep. And then Maria Oliva and Katrina Allen.
And
Why did I say Christina?
Maria and Owen were tied for first at some point.
Maria had the lead after the first round, second round, and
Oh, yeah,
third.
that's right.
No, not third, because she fell apart late third round.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was really pulling for her. I
Yeah.
like her game a lot. And you know what? So she fell apart late and whatever. She hung on. She did great.
Yeah.
She had a solid enough finish. I mean, she's not someone anyone was expecting to win. I think she overachieved big time
Yep.
this tournament.
Yep. And she played, she played well. Like, I think the leveler was the distance on this. But to say that, I mean, some of the best players,
It's certain holes.
Yeah.
Honestly, the way
Yeah.
those courses are laid out.
Right.
Yep.
Like there's some that, especially in an FPO field, the distance is going to matter. And then all of a sudden you hit a stretch of woods and
It doesn't.
It was pretty windy too. Like the
Yeah.
wind played quite a bit of, had some play in it.
Yeah.
I was just bringing up Paige Pierce. Her and Kona did the Jomez coverage. Do you think that messed with them a little bit? Having a different schedule and having to go record and then, having maybe different tee times than they would have liked to have had and just getting out of rhythm.
I guess I can speak on Paige. I don't know if I have enough to say on Kona because Kona hasn't performed this year, so I don't know if it messed with her or not because she's not consistently finishing at a certain point.
yeah.
Right.
Paige Pierce, has she been outside the top 10 this year yet? I don't know if she has.
I don't know.
Paige knows what she's been
Yeah.
in the spotlight for so long. I can't imagine that's what messes with her at this point.
Right.
But, yeah.
I was just looking. She did tie for 21st, Paige Pierce.
21st,
And
okay.
Ella Hansen, you were kind of wondering. She
Yeah.
actually tied for 21st with Paige
Okay,
Pierce.
well,
Oh,
Paige
okay.
Pierce, okay.
Yeah, and then Kona was further down.
Yeah, she was like 39th.
She was 39th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's not like that's a terrible finish. You always expect more from Paige though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, with Paige, I don't know. She has her moments, but you really don't expect her outside of top 10. Like, I don't expect her to win every week. I don't expect her to be, on the podium every week. But top 10, I would say so. She was so dominant for so many
Yeah,
years.
she should be. She should have been. Higher.
Yeah.
Right,
So-
especially at a major. Like, you'd
Right.
think that extra motivation, especially USWDGC.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's huge.
But life transitions happen, man. You
Yeah.
see that all over the place. And, where's Paul Macbeth? Like, you have that same conversation. Like, what's going on with him? Like, where's he
True.
at? So, and I'm a fanboy to the max with him. And, like, where's he at? Like,
Yeah, right when you start wondering that, he's gonna
Well,
win.
that's
He's gonna win the
exactly it.
next 3 tournaments out of the
Yeah,
next
he'll
4
show
or
up in
something,
Yep.
yeah.
Europe and just dominate.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah.
And then what about Brody Smith? Where's he at?
Was he in this
Come
tournament
on.
playing USWDGC?
Oh yeah. That's kind of where he belongs.
Wow, that's fired.
That was for you, Tyler.
I'm just wondering because I'm going to lose money because of him. Come on, Brody. Just win Worlds and at least make me feel good so I have something to say.
Eagle, just sit out the rest of the year, and I'm gonna win a bunch of money.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm out $100. 50 to you, 50 to Tyler. All right.
Well, Brody did play decent at in
in Portland, it wasn't bad. In Emporia, he played in Portland. It wasn't horrible. He hasn't been horrible.
No,
but-
honestly, I was gonna say he's been playing well.
Yeah.
He's not. You hyped him to a level that you probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I knew he
But
wasn't gonna
honestly,
be
he's
there.
playing good this year.
Yeah.
I cannot bag on Brody's game this year.
He didn't play well.
I can just bag on
Preserve,
your crazy picks. That's all.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree. I think I pushed it because, and I'm saying this out loud now, I pushed it because it bugged Tyler so much. I don't even know if it really bugged Tyler that much. I just felt like it did, so I pushed it.
It's a fun thing to.
Oh, yeah. Like, why not? I'll take that. That $50 isn't going to hurt me too much. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be less soda or candy or something that goes in my belly.
Gas in your car.
Yeah, it is what it is. But it's fun. All the trash talk we get to do. It's worth $50. So, all right. So LWS, Open at Idlewild. So LWS. Anyone know what LWS stands for?
No, I didn't know what you're talking about till you got to the Idlewild part.
They are like one of those player management groups.
Is that the one that does Ricky?
I think so.
Okay.
Ricky and Paige, maybe?
I don't know.
I know whoever the owner is of it did a interview a long time ago, I think, with Smashbox and with Paige's podcast.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember his name, but
I should listen to it. I heard Paige's podcast is good, but I haven't listened to it yet. Okay, so if we want to do our picks for the LWS Open at Idlewild, we can do that. Jennifer Wheeling. Oh, that's tomorrow.
Bad pick.
So there.
I heard she's a tremendous woods golfer.
Okay. Wait, I must be in the wrong.
What are you looking at? Are you looking at the amps?
I was looking at FPO. That makes sense. Okay. So if we want to make our picks for Mañana, we can do that. So starting tomorrow, right?
Friday.
It's Friday.
Starting
Today's
today.
Wednesday. Starting today.
With
The
to the
magic of
listeners.
podcasts.
Yeah.
So we'll each do a 1, 2, 3. Start with whatever number you want, as long as you get 1, 2, and 3. And should we let the new guy go?
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan, you're first.
Number 1, Kyle Klein.
Repeat?
Kyle Klein,
Okay.
everybody. Number 2, Richard Wysocki. Number 3, Chris Dickerson.
All right. JP.
Alrighty. I am going to take number 3. I'm going with Joel Freeman.
Okay.
Number 2, I'm going to take Maddie O. And number 1, I'm going to take Simon.
That's who I was questioning. Okay.
All 3 different than my 3.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. P. McBee, number 2.
Who's that guy? Oh, yeah. Number 2. A 1 through 3 list. You start with number 2.
Absolutely.
He did
What in the world is
last
this?
week too. But, like he started with
This guy.
He started with 2, went to 1, then went to 3, or
It's
something like
because
that.
he's the gas man. Number 2 is where his sweet spot is.
Number 2 is where it's at.
Oh man,
That's where he's most comfortable is when he's doing a number 2.
it's subconscious.
By the way, one of the things that bugs me is when someone says subconscious, when they mean to say subconscious and they say unconscious,
Oh, okay.
bugs me. Oh, it's an unconscious thought.
I can't say I've ever heard anyone say that.
Oh, I've a lot. Now that I say that, you're going to hear it a lot.
Unconscious thought?
Exactly. Think about
I
it.
don't think I've ever heard anybody say that. I would think they're nuts if I heard that.
Yeah,
That would
wait.
be a dream.
You just wait. You just wait. It's going to happen. Your sister says it. Not,
Which one?
Not the one I'm married to. The other one.
She's saying unconscious
It's
thought?
an unconscious thought. And I
That's
said, wait.
like- That's so deep.
Well, exactly. I was like, okay, I think you mean subconscious, right? No, unconscious. I go, I don't think that's right.
So it was like no thought at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, and someone's going to blast me about this. It doesn't make sense. So much so that I can't even understand how to explain why it doesn't make sense. Because how can you have a thought when you're unconscious?
That's so crazy. I can't say I've ever heard anybody say
Yeah.
that. Huh.
You can still think when you're in a coma.
Have you been in a coma before?
Prove it.
Yeah, exactly.
This one time.
Yeah. What's that movie with Iceman, where they're like the doctors and they push people to the death? Like,
Oh, Flatliners.
Flatliners. Yes, great movie.
Oh, the head exploded at the end? That one?
Did the head explode at the
No,
end?
the scanners.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Flatliners.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Kiefer
who is it?
Sutherland?
It's Kiefer Sutherland. No, it is Kiefer Sutherland. No, it's
Is that Jack Bauer?
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland because it's Iceman, and
Well, Iceman's Val Kilmer.
or Val Kilmer, excuse me, and then Kiefer Sutherland and
Keith Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon.
Oh dang!
Oh,
if
it's
Kevin
Kevin Bacon.
Bacon's
It's
in,
not-
I'm done.
Yeah.
it's not Iceman. It's Kevin Bacon who I always think of.
What is Iceman? What?
Maverick, Iceman, Hot Shots. I mean,
What
Top Gun?
What
Top
is
Gun?
happening here? Okay.
he plays the character Iceman.
Hot Shots is better than Top Gun, though.
Hot Shots is. I will put that over.
Oh, man.
It's funny when you first started saying Iceman. We're all over the place already. My mind went to Dr. Freeze from Batman.
Arnold.
Oh, boy.
So man,
Oh, that's the best role he's ever played, by the way.
oh man, it's up there. What? It's up there.
No, wait.
Kindergarten Cop's pretty
Predator.
solid though.
Oh, Predator. No.
Really, Kindergarten Cop, guys?
It's
I
not
pictured it.
Duma.
Total Recall?
That's one of the, no, those are all Arnold's all classics, man.
I like him.
All classics.
Commando, I have to say Commando, he
Oh.
doesn't play a very strong role in Commando. I mean, he plays a strong character, but his acting is not great in Commando.
Dude,
True Lies?
So I was in the Mall of America once, and there was this big crowd, just all crazy crowd gathering, like by some bookstore or something. Just like, what's going on here? And started asking around, like all these people that are standing there, and they're like, "Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger's coming to do book signing." Like, really? All right, so
he
we'll-
can write and read?
I don't, ghostwriters and all that. So I'm like, all of a sudden, all this security starts coming, and I'm just like, oh man, maybe this is him. And I just was part of the crowd that got pushed to the side, and Arnold just walked like 6 feet in front of me with like security around him and everything. Little dude. I'm telling you,
Like short?
what's his height? Like, I towered over him.
Really?
I felt like I towered over
wow.
him. Maybe it's because my expectation. You see him on the screen, and you're just like this
Right.
big jacked guy, and like so maybe it was my expectations of what I saw
I thought
compared
he
to what I
was
saw
like
in
6'2" or
reality.
6'3".
I don't, dude. Dude,
Okay,
he was.
we'll get back to my picks. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, that's
We
what I
gotta
was
figure-
wondering.
This is much more important.
No, dude,
So-
he's got to be well shorter than me. I'm 6'1".
I feel like
and
they do that with a lot.
I felt like I was
6'2".
towering over him. Arnold?
6'2".
Maybe it was just one of those things where your expectations didn't meet the reality.
Right.
You know?
Well, he
Like,
was.
I just expected him to just be so huge. Maybe that's what it was. And then he like wasn't way bigger than me. He was just close to my size. But I remember thinking that when he walked by.
You know who's small?
How did you find that he's 6'2"?
Man, Wikipedia. Come on.
Wikipedia. Yeah, they tell the truth.
Look, the author.
Conspiracy theory.
Anybody can edit that.
I'm going to make my Wikipedia for myself. I'm going to be 6'10".
Well, then he is a small guy compared to you.
I'm on Wikipedia. I can't even find it.
But Jordan, you act like you're a small dude. You're a big dude. Like you're tall.
Yeah, but 6'2" is taller than me.
Okay.
I thought I was looking down on him. Like,
Oh, really?
Like I said, it might have been like an expectation compared to reality thing. Like maybe I just expected this giant,
Huge dude. Yeah.
and then he was like my size and was like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like wait. You're supposed to be huge. You carried a tree on your shoulder in Commando.
Dude, I'm on Wikipedia.
You've lifted a
It
car
doesn't-
in Twins.
You saved Mars.
Wikipedia doesn't have his height.
What are you talking about? Right here.
This is outrageous.
Don't give me the outrageous.
Dude, I'm looking at it. I can't even find it.
All right, hold on. See, when
I'm
I
going to
pulled
put
it
in
up,
height.
just put Google, like Arnold Schwarzenegger height. Right here, look.
Dude, I don't trust Google for nothing. Put it in DuckDuckGo. It's going to be 5'8".
DuckDuckGo?
Yeah.
Yeah, real
That's the-
search engine.
That's the unfiltered search engine.
Oh,
Well, there's Bravo. There's all these
Yeah,
other ones.
yeah.
But all right, Google. He's
There used to be
6'2".
Ask Jeeves. You remember that back in the
Oh,
day?
yeah.
Okay. So my picks.
Starting with number 2.
Starting with number 2, Paul Macbeth. And we're going to go on to Simon at 3. We're going to go Wysocki at 1. Don't judge me.
I put him at 2. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So I got, there you go. So Wysocki, P. McBee, Simon. All right. So those are my picks for Idlewild. All right, Jordan Zacek. What's your random question for the day?
Oh, random question?
Yep.
Okay, well, the thing happened to me last night. I need a little help.
Is this appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Appropriate for what? Cover earmuffs? No, it's totally appropriate.
Okay.
So, all right, so, I live in a real weird place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did some demo that opened my ceiling up to my attic space.
Uh-huh.
So now there's like a big hole in part of my ceiling open to the attic. And yes, my house has a bell tower
Yes.
because it's an old school.
It's really friggin' awesome.
So there's a lot of weird kind of dark space up there. Well, as you could guess, since I did this, well, I mean, maybe you're guessing because I'm telling you, I don't know, whatever. I went to bed.
Little
I woke
children.
up at like midnight, had to take a whiz. I get up, I'm walking to the bathroom. It just, this thing like went by my head. Like, oh no, that's probably what I think it is. I grab my phone, I put my phone light on,
It's a bad.
light it up. There's 2 bats flying around in my house.
Oh.
It sucks.
And I figured when I opened that hole to the attic, I'm like, something's going to be coming down here that's been living up there.
Mm-hmm.
And bats did cross my mind. And sure enough, I got at least 2 bats then because I saw 2 of them. So random question is, how do you get bats out of your house?
My random question is, have you ever watched National Lampoons?
What do you do, like a tennis racket?
Like tennis racket and then 2 sticks with a coat tied to it?
I have 12-foot ceilings.
Yeah.
Well, get some big tennis rackets.
I can't even reach for it.
By the way, that's one of my favorite parts of National Lampoons. It's when they're trying to get the bat out of the house.
Okay, then, all right. Well, okay, maybe you just Google that. What do? Do you just go to sleep with the bats flying around? Do you go sleep somewhere else?
Yes. So up here,
What's your move? I live by myself. This just happened. What's your move?
so my move, knowing that Wisconsin only has fruit bats, good to go. I'm going to sleep. I'll deal with it in the morning. Living by myself, no problem. I thought you were going to talk about ghosts. In that case,
There's a lot of ghosts there. Maybe they were just bats all along.
Yeah, maybe.
because I'd be sleeping on my couch. Like I would have been coming over to someone else's house and sleeping on the couch. But bats, yeah, I'd be good. I'd lay down, go to sleep, and the next morning I'd try to figure out wherever they're hiding and take them out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's easier said than done in my house.
I'm sure.
Because I'm guessing they're probably up in that bell tower.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right. Is that open to the attic?
You can. I can go from the attic through like this.
right.
Maybe it's like a 3-foot by 4-foot hole, and I can crawl into the bell tower, like the upper area of the bell tower. So what's your move, JP? You're in my situation last night. Found out there's bats. What's your move?
Yeah, initially it'd probably be freaked out. I knowing that, like Shane said, like there's no bats here that are really that like.
Yeah, they're all fruit bats. They're not
Right.
gonna eat, they're not going to suck your blood.
I might,
I can still hear you though.
yeah, awesome. Like, it's not like one of those situations where like the next morning it's like you don't fumigate them, right? Like,
mean, you
Is there
can.
like a rodent? Like, I don't know. There's someone that you could just call and
Yeah, well, you could call.
put up the
rodent.
bat signal.
Yeah.
Get Batman to come take it.
You could call Mark Richards. He's a small mammal trapper. But I still think the most logical choice is a baseball bat, a tennis racket, a golf club.
Oh, I like bats though.
Well,
I don't want to kill them.
What are you
I don't-
complaining
I don't want them in my house.
Oh,
I don't want to
okay,
kill
I get
them.
it.
So my idea was, okay, I'm going to be leaving. Okay, on Friday I'm leaving because I'm going on a big disc golfing trip.
Yeah.
I got a couple tournaments. It's a Great Glacial Washout this weekend. It's a Wisconsin tour stop.
Ooh, cool.
And then I'm going straight from there to Peoria, and it's the Masters Worlds.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, while I'm gone, I'm going to be gone for 10 days. I was thinking of setting up like shop lights
Oh.
all over the house, including the attic, including the bell tower.
Yeah.
And just leave them on the whole 10 days I'm gone. Just leave everything lights on and hope that they just leave. Now, is that something? Is that...
I don't know. My thought, like real thought, would be to go buy a couple bat roosts, put them in there, And then when you come back during the daytime, go grab them. If they're in there, move them outside.
Right. Like
Is what I would think.
Are they the type that want to come back to where they were?
I don't know.
I don't know this
I
either.
don't either.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
going
know
to be
if they're
looking this stuff
territorial or
up,
not.
but I'm just looking for some
I know,
off the cuff answers.
what you said with bat roosts, like there are certain bats I think that are like endangered, or like all bats I think really are, where you can
I
like
don't know.
put something out in like your yard, like called a bat roost or like bat house or whatever,
Yep.
and like hopefully they migrate to that instead of the
They're-
of your
Yeah, I'd
attic.
like that. Like, I'd love to have them around outside. They're going to eat more insects
Yep.
out there and everything.
Yeah. They're
I'm all
awesome to
about
have.
that. So, yeah, I want to remove them without killing them, but I
Mm-hmm.
want them removed, and they're not. I don't want them to keep coming
Yeah.
back.
I
you
feel
know?
like there's got to be something natural that would move, like get them out of that space, like the light thing.
Just encourage them to like
know.
make a new home outside.
yeah,
Mothballs.
yeah.
Because I'm assuming they're coming from the bell tower. Is
Yeah,
the bell
or somewhere
tower
it might
open
just
still?
be the attic, but I mean that seems like the most likely place.
Yeah.
It's open up through the middle, but what used to be open at the top, like through the outside, they have it. Somebody at some point put plywood over those openings.
Okay.
So it's just this dark hollow inside up the bell tower. There's no bell in there anymore. So it's
but
just
how
this
are they-
dark opening.
They have to be getting into your house at one.
Well, I demoed the ceiling.
Yeah.
That's why this happened.
He was gonna put a fire pole.
No, I demoed a big chunk of the ceiling. I'm
Yeah.
in the process of a remodel. I'm gonna do balcony bedrooms.
Yep.
I got this grand plan for it, but right now it's just this torn apart
Yeah.
place with right now like a 16 by 10 foot hole in the ceiling. And the animals have come down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably what I thought was ghosts the whole time I lived there, and now they're coming down into my space, which is kind of weird.
Have some respect, some privacy.
Yeah. So,
But I mean, Batman didn't become Batman by killing the bats and
but he
getting rid
didn't.
of them.
He didn't by getting bit by him either. Right?
That's true.
No, I guess he didn't.
I think. I mean,
That
I
would've
think
been a better
I think that's
story.
just a mutual respect type of thing with those guys, with
Yeah.
Batman and bats.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I just got to make a move here. Yeah,
I like the roost idea. I don't think the shop lights. I don't know if it's really going to do anything.
I don't either.
Okay, well, proof. Little over a year ago? A year and a half ago, I lived in a old granary building at
Yeah.
a farm.
I remember that.
Didn't have, so I lived there, whatever.
I don't know. Could you call
wasn't
that a
born in a
building?
barn. I wasn't born in a barn, but I've lived in a barn. So when I moved in there was a bat that always hung out there. And I noticed it the first day, but then that was the time of the year where it got dark earlier.
Uh-huh.
And I'd be hanging out there. I'd be in there, in the evening, and lights would be on and everything. The bat was flying around a few nights in a row, whatever. By like the fourth, fifth night, I noticed that the bat wasn't there anymore, and I never saw it again. So like my presence there, and I'm
Pushed
guessing
it out.
being in there at the time, maybe having lights on, maybe making noise at the times it wanted to come down and feed. Like my presence there just drove it out, and that's
Sure.
what I was thinking with the lights and all that.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Give keys to some high school kids and see if they'll throw a party.
Meg's probably in.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I would take the roost idea. Yeah, maybe
I
maybe
would
the
love
lights
to get them
would
to
work.
roost outside. Like maybe it's a combination of like the roost, the lights, maybe it's a combination of maybe giving them a habitat outside and encouraging them out there somehow.
Yeah.
And then maybe they'll just take to the new, better spot that's outside.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
because I
could
know
be-
they sell things that you can like hang next to the bats and all that stuff, like to the bat roost that attracts them. It's like a food or nectar or something like that.
Okay.
So maybe do that and
All right,
see.
all right.
Maybe they'll disappear one night when they go out. They find that spot. And they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
like I
this is
said,
better."
I'd love to have them outside.
Yeah.
That'd be great. But
Yep.
yeah. Okay.
Well, there you go. I would freak out a little bit too, though, if I got up to go pee and.
It was funny because I was kind of so tired, and I'm just like, you don't have the best thoughts.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Oh,
okay, they're just gonna like come sleep on me. Or,
Right.
I know you're thinking like, okay, so what part of my body do I need to cover all of it? It's where when you were a little kid, you run to your room.
Yeah.
And for some reason, everything will get you unless you're under the covers. And nothing will touch you.
So all I have to do is be under the covers.
Just be under the covers. That's
blanket
it.
over the head.
Yep.
Thanks for the help, guys.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thanks.
That's what I tell my son. Just cover yourself up.
Lulu did that last night
We'll
with
never find you.
fireworks. She didn't want to watch fireworks. She just had a
Oh.
blanket over her head the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, she got really scared, like of the real loud ones, and the whole time she's like, "Daddy, hold me," and then like I pulled the covers down just a little to see if she wanted. I don't want to see them. And she pulled them back up over.
Is that why she chokes you?
Yeah,
you wanted her to see fireworks?
yeah.
Exactly.
Diabolical dad.
So, all right, shop updates. Here we go. Innova restock should be coming. I got about 140, 160 discs coming from Innova. They finally have almost a full lineup. So, and we were getting pretty shallow on Innova. We got the Prodigy.
I was gonna ask about Innova. Are you guys getting like any of the power discs or any of those, or are they all the generic like?
What's the power disc?
The PD?
Oh no.
Like
So,
like any of those like molds, original?
no, because those
molds
are
like
all factory store discs, and we have to be. I don't even want to talk about it.
That's so
Get shit
that's
going
so
on this
lame.
Innova stuff.
It's just ridiculous.
Okay, all right.
All right. So, yeah, but we got some of the new infusion, or the infused destroyers, the anniversary destroyers, things like that that just dropped, or they will be dropping soon. So we got some of those coming, and then we got all their particular molds. But I didn't go a lot of DX stuff. I did a lot of like Champion Pro, our pros, and then I got some Star stuff and a couple G Star things. So, not a lot of every mold, but different plastics of every mold. So, and then we got the Shadowfax with Prodigy coming in, and we actually have a restock of Falcors coming in as well.
Falcor, nice. What's his next mold, isn't it?
That's the
Shadowfax.
Shadowfax.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
That name did not click with me. Okay.
Flying
weird.
elephant.
yeah, I
Sweet.
saw that stamp.
Kale's awesome.
Yeah.
And then
I
this
agree.
next
I
one's
just
going to
trust
be a mid-range, from what I heard.
Okay. Yeah, the Shadowfax is a 9 neg 2 or 9 5 neg 2 2.
Oh,
I
wow.
think.
Oh, sweet.
So it's a fairly understable.
But still
Control
finished with
driver.
the 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
So yeah,
Woods liner.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the Falcor was supposed to be something throwable as well, and it's not throwable for me.
It's pretty beefy.
It's pretty beefy.
I mean, it would fit with the Rive kind of where I'm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something you're going to put it on Hyzer and it's going to stay on Hyzer. Like there's not much. You could probably throw it flat and get a little bit of glide out of it, but for me, anyways. Yeah, so that's it. And so, like I said, we still have the promotion, www.dortis.com. We'll have all these things online. We have the Rainmakers that'll be dropping pretty soon. I think, the 14th is when they...
13th or 14th?
13th or 14th, yeah, something like that. So they'll be dropping pretty soon. We got some of those in the shop. And then I doubt we'll have any of the envelopes of money left by that point. But hopefully we'll see all those envelopes gone pretty soon here. And... but if not, you still have a chance. Like I said, we still probably have about, 15 or so left, somewhere around in there. And the last time I looked, we had about 25 or 30 left, about half. There were still some big bills in there. And I want to say the 50 was still actually in there. So I don't know if it is anymore, but it will be. So have a good day. Have an awesome time. Keep it subpar.
See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Monday. Bye. Peace.